Hi, this is Conversations with God, post number 6. I've done 5 posts on my Facebook, and now I'm going to record them on video. Um, for the typing person, just title each post God and Matthew, and I'll say who's talking as I go through it. Um, so uh, the title of the post is post number 6, intimacy, Matthew. This is an interesting subject to pursue. I've pursued intimacy all of my life, and over the last few years, I've become very close to you, God. Um, it's really great to be talking to you. You have become intimate with my son over the last 20 years, and it's grown to a place where it's very close. Your son and you, uh, my son and you, really get on well and have got closely knit minds. You have developed the mind of Christ. You've developed the mind of Jesus, and you understand his thoughts and you understand his emotions. Matthew, I have come to realize that I do think with Jesus' thoughts, and I do think with his emotions. It gives me an ability to see things through his eyes. I'm able to see people through his perspective and make decisions based on what he thinks about a person. Um, I can't imagine living life without his perspective. Sometimes, as I go about life, as I go about living my life, um, I'm quite naturally thinking the way Jesus thinks, and it's not even a conscious thing anymore. I tend to think with the mind of Christ, and that's one of the fruits of living intimately with Jesus, God. It was always intended for mankind to live in that way. It's always intended for Christians to be able to live their life in intimate fellowship with the mind of Christ. And now that you possess the mind of Christ, you're able to process things in a more divine way. You're able to see things from a unique perspective, an eternal perspective. You're able to see things the way that we see things, and make decisions based on what we think and what we allow to happen. I'm very pleased that you've become intimate with my son. Not many people travel to the place where they're intimate with my son. Many people know my son by name and know how to sing songs to him, but they're not really interested in how he feels and how he thinks. My son and I uh, go through a lot of grief in heaven as we see the hardships on earth and the way people on earth suffer. And there's not many people who have got the time of day to enter into understanding our pain and understanding the way we think. It's through true intimacy with Jesus that you're able to ascertain the pain that we're in and the suffering that we go through. The average person, the average Christian doesn't want to consider that we suffer. Life for them is something that they want to be rosy and happy, and they want to see the benefits of being a Christian and being someone that's loved by us, but they don't want to see the downside. They don't want to even consider that we may get depressed, or we may get sad, or we may suffer from what's going on in the world. Matthew, I at one stage in my life, I said to Jesus that I wanted to be his friend, and I wanted to feel his thoughts and help him with his life. And I asked him if he had any issues and he had any troubles. And I told him that I wanted to be a friend to him, not just him being a friend to me. And at that stage, my life went really dark. It's like a light switch was turned off, and I became depressed. And I realized now I was feeling Jesus' thoughts. I started to feel his emotion and started to feel his thoughts. And that's why the darkness came in. I realize now that Jesus suffers and has trials and has bad thoughts about the world, and isn't always rosy and happy. And part of being intimate with Jesus is being in fellowship with his sufferings, and entering into fellowship with the sufferings of Christ. And it's not just suffering myself, it's having the ability to recognize the sufferings of Jesus. So I've become intimate with Jesus and come to understand his highs and his lows, and I can get a better grasp of his mind and a better grasp of how he's thinking most of the time. God, that's one aspect of having the mind of Christ and having an intimate relationship with Jesus, is feeling the whole person, feeling the range of emotions from high and ecstasy to deep depression and sadness. And as I've already said, the average Christian doesn't want to know about the sufferings of Jesus. They don't want to know about the depression and the sadness that Jesus feels. They just want to experience a happy heaven and a happy Jesus. But I ask you to consider, how could a loving Father, a Father of all mankind, sit by and watch the tremendous suffering on earth, the starvation, the disease, the wars? How could we sit by and watch people kill each other, watch people sexually molest each other, watch people do violence against each other, and not feel an emotion about it. People misunderstand me as a god. They assume that I'm above all that, and I don't see that, or I don't experience emotions because of those goings on. But I do see things, and I do experience emotions, and I do feel sadness, and I do feel depression. I sense things more acutely than the average person, and it does my heart very well. It does my emotions very well to have a friend in you, Matthew, that's intimate with us, and has developed their relationship into a place of intimacy where it can fully recognize our emotions and fully recognize how we feel about certain situations. I invite everyone to become intimate with myself and Jesus. I invite everyone to grow close to us and have the opportunity to know us from our highs to our lows, to fully experience our emotions and fully experience us as we really are. I'm a God who wants to share my life with those people who know us and who fellowship with us. And I want to share my highs and especially my lows with people to help them experience fully what we experience. Um, when people understand how we're thinking, when people understand our emotions, they can be more fully equipped to pray, and to pray in the right manner and the right frame of mind. I invite people to know us. You can get to know me in a better sense by reading Matthew's first three books, Conversations with God, Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3, and they are available at a link he'll put under this video, and you can purchase Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3 all together as a Kindle book for free on Amazon, and you can explore our feelings. You can explore my feelings in that book and get a better picture of how I feel about certain things on earth. I get quite emotional in the book, and it's a good insight into how I feel. Matthew, I really appreciate you speaking today. Not many people who speak about intimacy with God and intimacy with Jesus would even venture the topic that that Jesus and God get depressed and get upset and get sad. And I'm really pleased that you mentioned that one part of being intimate with you is understanding the whole perspective, understanding the whole of you, and that's part of you that if you missed that part, you'd be missing an essential part of you. There's a whole lot of people that talk about a happy God and a God where the whole of heaven worships him, and a God who sits and rules and reigns in heaven and who has absolute authority. But there's things that are out of your control. There's mankind has got free will, and mankind does some evil things, and you're a God who's got to suffer the consequences of those free will that mankind has. And it must be hard on you to sit by and watch everything that's going on. So I'm glad we got to have this conversation. God bless you, and go in peace.